take 2 weeks vacation, take care of your family, provide for college, and we just want to pretend like that. Well, at least Craps wants to pretend like that never existed in this world, and there was no such thing ever. So that was the point he was trying to make, and he did it well each time he repeated himself. But you all just couldn't hear him. So that's what he was bringing up, and all I'm going to say is that was, of course, done intentionally. Slave to
Thank
the
you,
system.
Dan.
Yes, you're welcome. The voice from beyond going away.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
The man that makes things run.
But everyone noticed the woman.
You.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have an opinion on your guys' conversation. I don't know very much, and I don't care for Bezos.
Jeff Bezos is a scumbag. Listen, if I put VOP on an AWS server, can we become billionaire superstars too? Like, because I'm obviously going down the wrong road with VOP because this whole grassroots shit is getting kind of ancient. So I want to make some money. VOP is going to sell some sponsorships. Whatever you want us to do, we'll do it. Get your shots. Get whatever you need us to do. Give us the money. This week, a political shock. We're going to have Bill Gates in the first hour. We're going to have Jeff Bezos in the second hour, Mark Zuckerberg in the third hour, and Jack Dorsey in the fourth hour. You're welcome. And yes, that's it. Corporate VOP out.
I would literally murder someone to be able to get a high profile guest like that on my show. How'd you do it, Dan? What are your secrets? Who do you know?
I can't get into all that. I had to go disappear for a little while to a little area called Davos, and I came back a changed person. I can't say Bruce, boss, but thank you, brother.
There was a blood ritual involved.
Like...
He can't get into it.
Yeah,
it's very
the whole
sacred.
effigy of the child and the owl and everything in the middle of the woods. Right. It was a whole big thing.
Shots of adrenochrome.
Of course. And I am now
animals were harmed.
And now officially, just so you know, I want to be known as only the one and the only almighty D. So if you want to get the D, you pay me, and I will give the crumbs to the workers at the VOP. So I am D, I am D+, I am D and on. Get the D.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. I appreciate you stopping by my show.
All I heard is anybody want the D, hit up Dan. All I heard. So all you ladies out there, you're a little thirsty.
All you ladies, get out of here. Dan, check your signal DMs. I'm hopping in there.
Oh no, what are you doing? Listen, yes, Moloch. We don't talk about Moloch, boss. We can't say that. It's verbatim. Verboten. Sorry, I can't even talk. Anyway, yes, and I'm officially announcing right now that the Voice of the People USA Radio Network has gone into a partnership with a very great group of people, and we're going to be doing our first mission to Haiti next week. It's the Clinton Global Initiative, and I can't wait to start doing some good humanitarian work with all the Clinton friends.
That's awesome. Danny, you like being for real? Was that like a joke, or like are you actually doing like military stuff?
The fact that you even have to ask, Drew, I know you. What's wrong with you? Have you missed me?
You can come by my work and assault me if you wanted to.
I will. I'm gonna have to get the leprechaun on you. Listen, I am lying. I will be flying my private jet to Florida in a few hours, but we won't get into that. Anyway, it was a gift from a friend. No, just so there's no confusion. My views represent the views of me and nobody else. So fuck Hillary Clinton. I hope she dies, and when she does, I'm gonna have a celebration. My views do not reflect that of the political zoo either. Fuck George Soros, you Nazi scumbag. I hope you die. Fuck Klaus Schwab, you disgusting Nazi wannabe bastard. I hope you die. Bill Gates, I hope you die of 1,000 deaths. I could go on, but yeah, no. And the Clintons, I mean, I really don't want the Clintons to die. I want them to be executed publicly, slowly, over the course of about 3 to 5 years. And I think we should pay for admission and take the whole family with them. You're all evil, disgusting bastard fucks, and I despise you. I'm not going to call you Satanist. I'm just going to call you shit. So there. And VOP is still very much broke, which makes us legit, which makes us OGs. And Craps will soon cut us out too. We are the most censored after Alex Jones. And what else did I miss? Fuck the globalists, fuck the New World Order. What else? Shout out to Gorgeous. Fuck the Illuminati. I think I covered it
So
all.
if anyone would like to sponsor us over here at Political Zoo and VOP, please hit our emails.
Yes. Dad for President 2024. These bastards don't take me out before that. Count on it. That's right. And make sure to donate quickly. We got to reach another $99 on crap so we can leave and get paid out. That is all. And I love you all. And Politishock, one way or another, will return this Thursday. And I haven't ranted for a month, so you're all fucked. And thank you, boss. You're going to be on my cabinet. Don't you worry. God bless you all. Satan bless you all. Buddha bless you all. Non-denominational Pine Tree, God bless you all. Whatever you may believe, I don't know. Blame it on the meds. I don't know. I love you. And I'm done. And wait, no, I'm not done. God damn it. You see, you should turn off my mic. Anyway, hell, I don't even know how to turn off my mic. Nevertheless, I just want to say, fucking love you, Drew. You're doing a good job, and I appreciate the hustle, my friend. Do you know that Drew has missed only like one time, I think, since everything and all the changes and all the shuffling around and everything has gone on? I respect that. See that, people? That's why when you're as great as I am, all right, not really, but you recognize people with passion and a plan and commitment, you got to fucking give props to those folks. So Drew has been crushing it. And I'm proud of you, brother. I really am. I'm proud of what you do, and I'm proud that you don't quit. And I love having you on here, man. It means a lot. So keep up the good shit. Everybody else, much loved, except to the haters. Fuck off and die. And that's it. I'm done. Good night.
As he
Good night,
continues to
Dan.
linger in the
Thank you so much.
background.
Wow.
He's done
Thank you
until
so
the
much,
next
Dan.
time.
Last time I had to. The last time I got someone to suck a dick that well, I had to buy them dinner. So thank you so much, Dan. No, I appreciate you. In all seriousness, thank you so much, Dan. I do have a lot of passion. I appreciate you letting me have a spot on the network.
I'll remember that. We won't talk about your other job.
Can't wait to get ambushed one day. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, Dan's here." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm going home. I'm coughing." I gotta go home.
I don't know how I got here, you guys. I just landed on this
I don't know
show.
either. How did we get here? Why are you even here? Just to suffer? I don't know the rest of the Metal Gear monologue. I wish I did.
This has been very entertaining.
All right. Wow. What a fun discourse. All right. So anyway, school shootings.
Great segue.
Right into like.
Brought to you by
Yeah, okay.
Uniparty.
I'm gonna apologize in advance for the radio part because I'm sitting here cracking up and I'm like, I hope this is not being caught on radio.
I'm having a fun time. This is great.
Because like, even though I muted myself for the actual show, my mic is what's picking up the radio. So you're probably hearing like my bag crackling while I'm eating it, and then like me just like busting up laughing out of nowhere. So yeah, sorry about that.
What's that?
try
Is your
to-
name Jackie? Are you having a bad day? Are you a Democrat or a Republican or a so-called independent having a bad day? We've got the solution for you. School shootings! Woo!
Oh,
It's coming to a town near you. It's been too long. We need some terrorist attacks. phone ringing. That bastard. We
Well,
need
no,
some
we
school
need some gun
shootings.
legislation. That's how that happens.
We
As soon as a
that's
big gun
right.
bill is brought up, that's when we can bring up. That's when a school shooting happens. You ever notice that?
Amazing, isn't it? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done for real now. I gotta shut up. God, stop it! You just when I
Damn,
thought
you
I
gotta catch a
was out,
flight,
they
don't you?
pulled me back in.
He is the Godfather.
What an episode!
And by the
Ooh,
way, the
that
many
should be the
saints
new
of
name of your
Newark.
show, Political Godfather.
Yes, the many saints of Newark. It was okay, but we deserve another just about Tony. That is all.
This is great.
Yeah, I
I
caused
love it
that
here.
dead air. You're welcome.
Holy shit, we're having a fun time here tonight.
Congratulations, you have rendered Ace speechless.
This is what happens, Drew, when you just throw the invite for anybody to join.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome
I felt
to
bad in
a
the
typical day.
group
in
chat
the-
earlier. I felt so bad in the group chat because like no one talks in the group chat all week except for like you giving notices. So then I'm like, yo, could someone be on my show? And like we started talking. I'm like, dude, I'm blowing these people's phones up. Like I felt so
No,
bad.
that's
Like
what
the only
the
person
chat's
talking in this
for.
chat.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Some days it gets really talkative. Other times it'll be silent for months. It's for that purpose, like to reach out to each other.
Okay,
Like,
good.
hey, I need help. Can anybody join? Can anybody do this? So yeah.
Yeah. No, for real, that's awesome. Ace, what's new with you? I want to hear something out of you. I want to hear some kind of rant style coming out of you. What's up? What are you passionate about this week? What's
I don't have
grinding your
anything.
gears?
Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't
Do
have
not.
anything from a political aspect, to be honest. Personal issues that have been grinding my gears this week. So typically, I mean, it's usually what'll happen is people have topics. I don't know if you ever pay attention to the Politishock show. I usually stay silent until you talk about something I'm passionate about. And I'm like, nope, this is where I want to speak up. Even if it's something as small as calling everybody Satanist, had his joke earlier. Certain things definitely do grind my gears during conversations, but when it comes to everybody in the group from VOP, I am probably the person that knows the least when it comes to politics. This is something that became new for me as far as actually caring to learn about. I've become more familiar over the past year. I definitely reach out to people like my sister Jackie for assistance if I don't understand something. Hey, can you break this down in layman's terms? When I have to do political science homework, I definitely reach out to Jackie because words go over my head. But I've always been I've always been an activist. I've always, stood up for things that I believe in. And it wasn't until this past year and a half, 2 years that I realized what my label would be. And I'm like, as far left as you can go. I'm the anarchist of the group. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the government needs to be gone. Goodbye. But I know that realistically, it'll take us so long to get there. And you have to pass through all the other phases. Like, at some point in time, we have to go through socialism to even get to an anarchistic society.
Isn't that kind of like a little bit of an oxymoron though? Because isn't socialism like the complete control of economics through the government? Like how is going through an authoritarian government going to lead to a libertarian like wet dream of no government at all?
You can have a libertarian government. Damn it, I'm off screen. Okay, look. Real quick. Just because I know she's going to be like, I can't answer that. Make her answer it. So I'm just going to do it. Okay. You're describing communism. That's why we don't like communism, because I don't trust the government. I want to get rid of the government. Socialism is fair pay for fair work. So what we were just talking about with like Jeff Bezos and everything, those solutions, those are socialist solutions. Communist solutions would be the government takes over and forces everybody, like the government takes over the corporation, everybody gets paid equally. Doesn't
regardless
matter
of what
do.
work
Everybody
you do.
gets paid the same. That would be closer to communism. Whereas socialism is everybody gets paid fair. But you can still have multimillionaires under socialism. Because if you create the company and you have stock in it and blah, 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 you'll still make more, but it won't be so gross. Like you won't be making $1 billion while there are people that are homeless. It's nobody is homeless. Everybody can, because it's socialism is also, it has a social net, or I should say safety net. Um, but it doesn't. The government doesn't control industry. Industry still controls itself, but it is more regulated. It is not entirely regulated the way that it's basically socialism is no more regulated than capitalism is right now. The difference is the rules are more fair and they're not skewed towards the rich. That's the main difference between socialism and capitalism. Cam out again.
I'm sorry, my internet's like freaking out.
I
Could
know
you like
you look like
reiterate the
just
last like
a,
three
a
sentences? I
fuzzy
apologize.
AC Facey,
Yeah.
go
Could
for
you,
it.
could you see the like the last three things? I'm sorry.
So basically, the last thing she said is the greatest difference between socialism and capitalism is the fact that you're looking at going from a homeless society to where we'd have a net where there is no such thing as a homeless society. And then there's the pay difference. Whereas right now we have people that are millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, while there are people literally working for chump change. Underneath the socialist society, everybody gets fair pay for their work. So yes, you can still have millionaires, but they've rightfully earned that $1 million versus them having stole that $1 million through other means, while you're still getting paid your worth in the meantime and you're not drowning in debt.
Okay. All right. I can hear you. I heard you for that. You were starting to cut the beginning, and I was thinking like it's another hap sabotage, but I'm glad you were able to get through. Okay, that makes sense, and that's different from a lot of what I hear from other socialist media and other people who either claim to be socialists or people who are saying, "Hey, this is what socialists believe." So it's cool to hear that from like the source themselves of people who identify as socialists. This is what they identify it as. So thank you for clarifying that. Because my base thought on socialism. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
So my base thought on socialism, what I always thought it was that everyone gets paid the same, no matter if you're the CEO or if you're like a grunt worker in the factory. Like doctors would make the same as McDonald's workers.
Communism.
Yes.
I'm not a communist.
What do you say to the claim, though, that socialism leads to communism? Because that's usually a talking point where socialism will then get there.
A lot of people believe that. I don't believe that because I want socialism on the way to anarchism. I don't think the reason why I'm a socialist is because, like AC Facey, I at heart am an anarchist. I am not a communist. I don't trust the government as it is, and I think that even under communism, the government can still be corrupt. So why give them even more power? So I would prefer anarchy, no government. But I don't think we'll get there in my lifetime. So socialism to me is the best. It's the next best thing. And socialism is, like I said, you don't necessarily have any more regulation, nor I should say any more rules than you have now. The difference is the rules are fair and they're made for the society. They like right now you have rugged individualism. Socialism is it's everybody. It's the rules are made to benefit the society as a whole as opposed to benefit the individual. That's the difference. So when basically look at it as like a rising tide lifts all boats. When everyone has everything that they need to live on and we're all thriving, then you have a better society. Then people can create more because they're more free to create. They're not worried about trying to pay the bills because the bills are already paid. They have all of their basic needs met. Now they have the freedom to be able to be creative or to come up with whatever the next big thing is. Like we could have possibly solved our infrastructure issues and our climate change issues if we had a freer society where people could actually come together and think of these things. Whereas the majority of this country right now is not free to do anything except go to work and pay their bills and go to work and come home and maybe watch a little bit of TV and go to sleep before they have to get up and go to work again. Because we are so far in the hole as a country. The only reason why we're the richest nation is because we have the most billionaires. That's pretty much it. It's not because the people themselves are rich. We're in a really expensive third world country. And I can see that your internet has completely shit the bed because you haven't blinked in a full minute.
Here.
So
I stare. I'm just listening intensely. I want to get all the information. And also, yeah, mine has been a little bit spotty.
Okay. So now I'm out. Smoke bomb.
Whoosh. And she's gone.
Gotta love Jackie. But no, it's
Gotta love it.
a lot
This is
of
fun.
the misconceptions that we get is a lot of it starts off as government propaganda. Just like communism, real communism is not what most people in America think it is, because it was propagandized. It was used as a tactic to scare people. Just like when most people hear anarchists, they think, well, that's just a chaos society. You just want a society with no rules. No, baby, that's not what anarchism is. But that's what the government led to believe with propaganda. I think it was Reagan that did it for both the communists and the anarchists, because he wanted you to think they were bad. And it's the same thing with socialism. Go ahead.
Sorry, just before you continue, can you explain what anarchist means to you then? Because I have that like no government, no rules mentality of anarchism. What does it mean to you and other people who are of your mindset?
So there's definitely different forms of anarchism, and there's different levels. Mine in particular is called an anarchist syndicalist. Mine is definitely about the working people, but it's different for everyone. The form of anarchy that the people that are like-minded like me believe in doesn't mean that there's no rules. It just means that there's no government. We don't need a government to control us. Instead of this hierarchy where this is who's at top and you work your way down to the bottom, it is a heterarchy. We are all equals. We are all even. We all have the same opportunities provided to us, the same chances. And this is the moment where those rules are still there, but we agreed to them as a group. It wasn't something that was forced down on us. Whereas right now, look at the laws that get passed. Yeah, they'll tell you this is what the law is about, but they don't tell you about the 800 things they put underneath it to fuck you over somewhere else. Half
So
the
would
time,
you say it's more of a societal thing?
It is. It's all society-based, society-driven. Okay. And so it gives you the opportunity to be that you have your own responsibility, just like when you look at the true meaning of a Satanist. They believe in themselves. It's the same thing. In an anarchist society, you believe in yourself and your own capabilities, but you're still expected to be a good human to others. Doesn't mean that you can go out murdering everybody and their mama. Now, as a group, we have to sit down and say, what are we going to do with you? Because this isn't how things should be. This isn't the humanist way of life. So there's still rules. There's
what if
still
someone like fully disagrees? What if you get someone who is strong and powerful enough to then manipulate that society and do whatever they want? What if you have someone who goes around, grouped up all the women and like collectively did unspeakable things to them? Like, are you going to sit down with that person and talk? What if this person has a shootout? What if this person makes a bunker and has people that are like with him? And you know what I mean? I feel like it opens up the door for too much chaos, I would say. I feel like too much could go wrong. It's a nice thought. Yeah. I would like that, but
no, I see where you think that, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind that if we're all equals, that means that now we all collectively, kind of like in the socialist society, you don't have somebody that pulls the strings. You all have to pull the strings together. So say, for instance, you need to make a vote and there's only 6 people involved in the situation. The majority wins. Mm-hmm. It's the same concept in the anarchist society. So if that one person magically gets that power to pull all these strings, they would have to manipulate a shit ton of people to be able to do that.
I'm not saying like magically pull strings. I'm saying like, say like somebody Okay, let me just throw like a name. I don't want to name anybody like Cayenne. I'm just spices. So say Cayenne.
So white boys
Then
that
I don't
like
want to name
spices.
people and make them these awful people. So like say someone named Cayenne is able to convince two of his friends, oregano and thyme, to then say like, listen, all of you guys go out and grab a woman. Like we're all gonna grab a woman. We're all gonna bring them back to this fort that we built on the edge of town. And we're gonna do unspeakable things. And then when someone goes to retrieve them, they have guns that shoot at them and essentially like make a stronghold. What are you gonna do then? Are you going to amass an army? What if people aren't sympathetic to that cause? I feel like your view of anarchy relies a lot on the good nature of people that a lot of the time isn't there in bigger communities. And like I understand I am also someone who loves good faith. I love like seeing people like work together, but I don't think that's feasible. I think there will be a bad apple that'll ruin everything.
I'm
The
so glad
society
you
would
said
call
this.
the herd. Society would handle it itself. As far as like horrible things happening all the time, the majority of the reason why horrible things happen is because of capitalism. Because when people don't have enough to eat, they steal because they have to figure out how to eat. And then eventually, when they don't have enough things, then like just the shitty conditions that leads to addictions. It feeds itself. It's like an Ouroboros. When you get rid of
What about
those horrible conditions, you get rid of the desire to do the bad things. The reason why, like, think of something like rape. Why does somebody rape?
I
Because
was
they
going to ask
feel
that
like
what
they
like how
don't
does
have
capitalism cause rape?
power. Because capitalism is a power seeking situation. It's a society with rugged individualism where people are trying to amass power. Whereas if you get rid of even the concept of power, because nobody's going to have power over anybody else, then people don't have that desire to get power because the society has changed. So you're not so you that's why I said like I don't think that the US is going to ever get there because the US is rugged individualism and we'd have to go a full 180 mentally like in order to get there. We might get there, but it would take a war. Like it would take basically it would either take someone overtaking the US or it would take a civil war. That's the only way I can see it possible for anarchy to actually happen in the US. That's why I said I'm a socialist because I don't see it happening without there being a violent revolution. But what you have to realize is the society as a whole is fundamentally different under anarchy than it is under capitalism. So your
Just like
entire mentality, the reason why there was a study done on rats. I know I keep just bringing up random ass studies, but there was a study done on rats as to how they became addicted. And they gave rats, I think it was heroin, which is like one of the most addictive substances. They gave a rat heroin to see if they would come back. And the rats that were like all the rats got addicted to the heroin individually. But then they created this little rat park where there was like a society of rats and they could all chill and be happy and they had fun things to do. And they gave those rats heroin and none of them got addicted. What we're saying is capitalism is the individual rats that all get addicted. And we're trying to change to a system of anarchy where everybody's happy together in that society and you don't necessarily get addicted because with addictions you're going after a feeling, you're trying to compensate for your shitty feelings. You may not be able to pin down why you're feeling shitty. It's capitalism. But the reason what you're trying to do is compensate for things that you are for either shitty feelings or something that you're missing. That's how people get addicted, and how people get addicted is the same reason why people do things like rape people and steal from people and all of the horrible things that you're thinking of that are like, what if somebody does these horrible things? If you change society, you have a far less chance of people doing those horrible things because society in and of itself, look at it this way, go to a kindergarten class, and tell all the kids in the kindergarten, like, hey, if you're good, everybody's going to get a cupcake at the end of class. Those kids will be on their best behavior because they all want the cupcake, right? But then if you go in there and you say, hey, there's one cupcake for all 30 of you in this classroom, you will see all out war. Those kids will cut each other. That's capitalism. That's what we have right now. Whereas we're saying just give everybody a cupcake. And everybody will be on their best behavior. Granted, you will have one or two little
surprised.
kids. One little shit won't do it. But then what happens? The teacher doesn't even have to do anything, because what'll happen? Let's say like everybody gets a cupcake if everybody's good, right? You'll have like say Johnny is like thank you, Vasog. Let's say Johnny is like, I want to be a little shit. Everybody else will be like, hey, deal with Johnny because he's about to fuck it up for the rest of us. So they will deal with Johnny. Johnny will be dealt with. Okay. And everybody else will get their cupcake at the end of the day because the teacher didn't have to spank anybody's ass. Okay, I'm out again. Damn, you are like the Godfather. You just pulled people back in.
It's the show. I love when people go on rants here. You know what I mean? It's great. You come to me on the day of my podcast, and you don't give me a rant on your political philosophy?
But no, I'm dead. No, a lot of it relies on, like, this is why I got so excited when you said it. You were talking about the human nature. Human nature isn't inherently good or inherently bad. These bad traits happen because of society. So the biggest example, it was done back in, I want to say it was the 60s. There's a whole video on it about a teacher who did this study. So back when racism was still at an all-time high, we're talking about, right after Jim Crow and everything, or during Jim Crow, really. She took the class, and it was a class of white children. And she said that they were going to do something. She did an experiment with them. So today, all the blue-eyed kids were the smart kids.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then the next day, it was
explain
all
to the audience.
eyes.
Keep going.
So she did this, today all the blue-eyed kids are the smart kids. They're the special kids. They get that extra recess. They get all the extra the perks of the class. Whereas the brown-eyed kids were punished. They didn't get the special lunch. They didn't get the special recess. And the brown-eyed kids felt some sort of way. Of course, they're all in their feelings. They were starting to feel real down about themselves. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. The blue-eyed kids were actually picking on the brown eyes and say, it's because you're brown eyes, blah, 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 blah. She flipped the tables the next day so that the brown eyes were now the smart and good kids that get all the rewards, and the blue eyes were the ones being punished. Same thing happened. Now the brown eyes are picking on the blue eyes. It's because you're blue eyes, and blue eyes just aren't that smart. And it was being done to prove a point. If you are told something and taught something, that is where you're picking up these bad behaviors. Before that happened, none of those kids argued like that. Just like if you look and think about it, if you take two toddlers, two infants, the one that is brown and the one that is white, and you put them together in the same room with toys, they're going to play with each other. They're not going to be like, well, you got different skin, bro. I can't share my toys with you. They are going to love each other. They don't know different. They are taught different as we grow up. We are taught that race is this construct that you have to abide to. It's the same thing if in the anarchistic society, you start to remove all those things that were taught. You basically have to rewire current society step by step by step, which is why I said you could never go from capitalism straight to art like anarchist. You have to step down levels, going through other phases, socialist definitely being one of them. You have to move different things away slowly and rewire the way that everybody thinks. And then as soon as you get down to the basics, you remove so much of that, what has been wired into society, what we've been wired to believe. You remove so much of it that you get back to real human nature. We are raised with billboards and TV and all the radio that literally influences from the time that we can understand what is going on around us. We're taught that thin is pretty, but back in the 60s, thick was pretty. We changed it. They did a study where in Fiji, before they were ever really introduced to Americanized society, Fiji, the natives of that area believed that thick was beautiful. You were healthy. It's the same in like Hispanic
Well, yeah,
societies.
because
You're
that meant that
healthy.
you ate a lot in that culture.
Yeah.
You had more like food and wealth and stuff. Yeah, that's how it was in earlier Europe as well. I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of King Henry VIII, the absolute stud, like freaking huge dude, and like the thing. It's because he had a lot of food. Like nobility had a lot of food, and therefore they had a lot more. And as we go on, the beauty standard changed because it's easier to get fat than it is to look like you work. You know what I mean? Because like the skinny tan the muscles look attractive because that means you're a peasant, you have to work. But now it's like it's the opposite. Now in order to get that, you have to work hard because fat's the default because our food sucks, like we were saying earlier. You know?
Yeah. So we sit there, we change the standards of beauty, and we wash it into society to where you start feeling that way. Look at just the clothes, the way that they've changed from the time you were young until now. Fashion changed, and because they put that fashion in front of you, what did you do? You started buying that fashion. I highly doubt you go to the thrift store. Most people don't go to the thrift store and then make their own clothes out of it. They do what's in fashion, or they're wearing the old fashion because they just really like the old thrift store clothes, but they don't go and remake their own clothes. But we're literally pushing these out into society, forcing you to think and feel this way, which is why we've gone from the nation of corporal punishment and that you're gonna do what I say, do what I tell you, you're gonna shut up, not speak until you're spoken to now it's everybody has a feeling and your feelings are all valid. And I'm not saying that they're not, but we've let it get so out of control to the point where now it's just because you have an opinion, you think that you're right. That's not how it works. But we've allowed you to get that way.
I am reminded of that consequence every time I'm more than 2 minutes on Twitter. I definitely
but if
feel
you start
that. Yeah, a lot of people
are. But strip it down step by step. It takes a long time. Strip it down step by step. Eventually, you get back to the root of real human nature, and that is where the anarchistic society thrives. Anarchist societies have been around, and they have survived longer than America has existed as far as being the United States.
Societies?
I'd have to get with the Kai. So as you see, Jackie was mentioning, there's somebody that even Boss Hog came from. We all hang out. We used to hang out on his podcast. Now he has a Twitch stream. He's been studying anarchism for well over 2 decades. So he's very diverse, has unlimited, ridiculous knowledge. But he's the source that I would go to find out what those societies are. But there's one in particular that he was explaining one day that was 500 years old. And the only reason why it fell was because of capitalism. They literally, the nations around it, blocked them off so they couldn't get any trade, nothing, and forced them to become a part of a capitalistic society. As down the record of history.
How big was that? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
I was gonna say, like,
it's
on
been
the
so long.
Like I'm all for people like not hurting each other and everything, but in my own experiences, do you have a fire alarm going off? Is everything okay?
No, that was me turning on my fan.
Oh, okay, I thought I had a fire alarm. Just in my experiences, I know people that have had everything and have been super content and super happy and willing to just let people be, and they still perform atrocious actions.
But they still live in a capitalistic society.
Well, it didn't matter because it didn't affect it.
Point out one individual within this society that is doing well or doing poorly. It's the society as itself has to change.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like trying to just like I don't know, it's to me it just seems far-fetched. And like you said, it would take a long time, obviously, but I don't know. It's difficult for me because I've seen how bad people's human nature can be, and like I don't think it was like
the society they were raised in. Capitalism. Look at what the society is that they're raised in.
Capitalism couldn't have influenced this. This was something that like this person saw someone in weakness.
In a capitalist society, that's the thing you don't realize. It's the society that you're in influences you. So that's what you see. You would actually have to leave the United States and go to a completely different system to actually understand what that society was like. While you're here, you're in it. It's all you see here. It's like the Matrix. That's your reality. You have to leave that reality and go to a completely different reality before you can actually say X, Y, or Z about a different reality. Right now, you're in capitalism. You're in the Matrix. So all of your examples from anybody in this country, it's an example of capitalism. Even
Can I
if
just
they're
ask,
doing
like,
well,
do you
they're
have
doing well in a capitalist system.
an example of people living in like the anarchist or socialist like societies?
Kai does.
kaisthings.com. When you have time on your own accord, that's his own website. He puts a lot of his own research on there. He's got his own papers that he's written on there, but it's a good place to start to get some sort of idea in regards to the concept of anarchy that I believe in.
Okay.
Like I said, there's many forms of anarchy, but he's the one that I told you he's well diverse. He's been doing this for well over 2 decades, and I actually am the same type of anarchist he is.
Yeah, that's why we get along. Like, I don't agree with Kai on everything, but I agree with him a lot. So he is probably the best. You know what? It's probably a good idea to see if you can either end up on his show or to have him on your show, because I think this would be a really good conversation.
Oh, I'd love
Because
to
the
bring
questions that
like
you
all
have
kinds
for
of
us,
people on the show.
he knows those answers because he is well read on this.
Ridiculously well read. You should see a stack of books.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
all right, awesome. Sorry, I don't know where to go. I don't want to be dead air.
Now, for future reference, in case you're ever interested, I could try to remember to send you an invite in our Signal chat. He does a Twitch stream Monday through Friday at different times.
Okay.
Because he caters to different time zones, even different countries. But I could definitely try and remember to send you an invite to one of his Twitch streams. So if you're available that night, you can jump in and just kind of listen. He does start off on light notes to like warm up and allow people to come into the show. He doesn't immediately dive into politics talking, but it does eventually hit that point. But he does like to, hey, let's just shoot the shit for a minute before we really dive into the situations going on. So he does local politics as far as the United States, and then he does shows that are overseas politics where he talks about things going on in other countries.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to have him on the show if he's around, and I'd love to be on his show, vice versa. It'd be great to get more viewership on both of our platforms. That's awesome.
Kai is actually really good at talking to people with differing perspectives and explaining things. As long as you're not a dick, he'll have an honest conversation with you.
As long as you're not a Rick. I mean...
Don't be a Rick.
Don't be a Rick.
Yeah, that is literally
an inside
a rule.
joke on his stream. Don't be a Rick.
If you go on his stream, that is literally a rule. Don't be a Rick.
But what if you're a Morty?
It's actually not. So Boss Hog is laughing because he knows what we're talking about. It's actually not a reference to Rick and Morty. It's in reference to when he was on Podbean, he did a stream. I joined in, and he was talking to Rick, and we thought, at least I did, when I joined, that Rick was acting in good faith and legit had questions like you have right now, and so I tried to answer them. And then he kept changing the subject and like moving the goalpost. And then like in the end, I was kind of frustrated, but then I ended up hearing the playback because I came in like halfway through. And I heard the playback and I was like, oh, that son of a bitch. He was being a dick the whole time. But I was thinking like, because like these questions, I thought he was, asking them in good faith. And so I was answering them. And when I heard the playback, I was like, no, he was not asking in good faith. He was being a dick, but I needed extra context to know that. And when I got that context of hearing what he said, I was just like, you bastard. So yeah, after that conversation, So before he had no rules, and then after that conversation, he had the one rule: don't be a Rick.
Okay.
So as long
Ace,
as
do you
you
think
are
you can
having a
hold it for
good
like
faith
10 minutes? We
conversation
only have
with
10
him,
minutes. The show ends.
as long as
Thank
you're having
you.
a good
Sorry.
faith conversation with him, he's chilling. And smoke bomb.
Whoosh, gone.
Smoke bomb.
All right, so I'll definitely check on by. I'd love for him to check out my stream and come on over and have an honest chat with me. We have 10 minutes left, a little less now. Ace, or anything in particular you want to bring up? Anything you want to talk about? There's always that weird time. It happens every episode. It's like 10 minutes left. Then we just finished a major conversation, and now like I'm not going to start another major conversation with less than 10 minutes left. You know what I mean? So it's always just
No,
really
I
weird.
understand.
Like, what are your thoughts on the political structure of the weather? Like, like stupid stuff just to fill time.
The stupid stuff just to fill time. I honestly, I can't even
Give me
think
my
of.
show.
I can't even think of what to touch on. I mean, you
I
and
love that show,
Jackie
please.
were talking a lot of stuff, and you guys brought up some great points.
Mhm.
And I know I chimed in here and there on some things, but I can't think of anything in particular to speak on that's not going to start some sort of conversation that could end up being some deep dive conversation.
Right, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate tonight's show?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Drew. To be honest, this is the first full show that I caught. I caught your first show that you did on VOP. I caught like the first 30 minutes, and then I had to go because I had homework to do.
No worries. It's a long show. I get it's a little bit of an obligation to come by and watch. So thank you for your time either way.
No. I was happy to join, and to be honest, I really like the conversations you try to hold. I like the way that you try to format the show, and that you're inclusive, and you're not just like, well, this is all about me and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, I have a guest. Let's get your opinion. I think you do a great job.
Right. When you go to the zoo, you don't go, just for the zookeepers. I want to show. I'm not calling everyone on my guests animals, but like I'm saying, like, you want to go for all my attractions. You want to go for the new thing I'm showing you. So when someone comes on, I want them to be able to articulate ideas, and I want them to, get their stuff out there. Like I could go on and on. Like I have somebody I want to eventually bring on. I'm gonna do like the complete opposite end of. Am I glitching out?
Little bit.
Little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I have. I have somebody else on the complete opposite end of the spectrum that I really want to bring on at one point and talk to him about, because him and I are big into Christianity. We send each other Christian memes throughout the week. Like we have like a lot of right-wing views and stuff. So like I really want to bring him on and get like all that stuff out there. And like I have my own views. So I love like everyone of all walks of life to come on and just get out to the people. So that way people who are come watch my show can get a flavor of everything. They can really agree one week, really disagree the next week, but just so that way it's out there, everyone can kind of experience it. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely understand. And I'm not gonna lie, now I'm kind of intrigued and want to talk to you about the Christianity, but I'm too busy dying over the fact that the black woman commented that she's just eating fried chicken and watermelon.
That got me. I wasn't expecting that. That hit me.
Hey man, it's delicious, okay? Apparently it's genetic for me to find fried chicken and watermelon delicious, and so I have no choice.
The ironic thing is I cannot stand fried chicken and I hate watermelon. It's the white
you
of
are
white.
Also half white, so you don't have the genetic pull to
there it is.
We blame me being biracial. My white side won.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I feel that.
I'm telling you, man, she's always about the fried chicken. She's like, I think I want fried chicken.
It's okay. Her white side is Italian. She does, in fact, season her food.
Okay, good. It's funny. I actually had fried chicken right before the show, so
fried chicken Friday on a Saturday.
On a Saturday. Oh, look at that! Boss approves. Boss likes you.
Thank you.
Boss and us go way back, like 4 flats on a Cadillac.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good people.
I love when people come by.
Drew's in the club now. I'm convinced Drew is more black than I am, so I think he's in a lot of clubs that I'm about to be kicked out
Let's
of.
not set that bar. Let's not set that high bar. I don't want that pressure on me.
It's
all
not hard
right?
to be more black than me, I promise.
I'm wearing Vans right now. Don't tell me that. You know what I mean?
What kind of Vans?
I'm not there.
Are they like solid
dude,
black
they're awesome.
or?
No. Oh, okay, I'm like big into Vans.
He's an
Like
albino
that's
black
like
guy,
my
just
shoe.
like Dan. Dan, I can't stand you.
So Vans is like my collector shoe. Like I don't like basketball shoes. I love the skate shoes. Just I like how they feel and they look. Check these out. Get on my camera here.
Oh my! And they got spikes on them and the plaid.
Yeah, got spikes on the back.
Oh.
Dude, there's like denim and the plaid. I know, right?
I like
Dude, I
those.
have like a whole.
Okay, but where's the?
I have a
American
whole
flag?
wall. I have a pair of American flag Heelys, which I will definitely wear one of these days on the show.
No. No, I like Vans. I'm more of a Chucks person, but I definitely that Vans are my second, and I think not that anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about, but they used to make these shoes and they started making them again called Ruse, and I wear those. They got these nice little pockets on the side. I used to love those as a kid.
Pockets on shoes?
Yes. So when they brought them back for adults,
Now that's a forum for political debate. Ace, pockets on shoes. What are you putting in them?
Ruse
how big are the pockets?
They ain't that big of pockets, and to be honest, they're probably best for people that do illegal things. Not gonna lie, because
I was gonna say there's no way you're not doing anything but putting a gram in there.
The pockets are pretty small, so you either putting a penny in them, like penny loafers, or you putting But that used to be my thing as a kid. I loved those shoes. Oh my gosh, the Jinkos. Yes, the Jinkos. Look. Let's not go back to the elephant pants. A minute. Well, then, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead since you got a minute left. I appreciate you having me on the show, but I will let you close out your show, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. You do only have a minute. It's nuts. Thank you so much to Ace and Jackie for coming by the show tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to have them on. Audience, thank you so much for coming back and watching the show. I really appreciate it. My new studio here is a work in progress. You can come see me next Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. Everyone have a great night. Keep questioning everything. And welcome to the zoo. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.